Welcome to Ask Maureen, where we cover historical image analysis, genealogy, and how to work with your family photo collection. I'm Maureen Taylor, the photo detective, and I'll try to answer your questions. Good afternoon. This is Maureen Taylor. Thank you very much for joining me for another installment of the Photo Detective podcast. My guest today is Janet Horvoka of Family Chartmasters. Now, remember, if you don't have time to watch this live, you can catch the replay on my Facebook page, or you can listen to the podcast. You can connect to it on iTunes or through my website, maureentaylor.com. There's a little podcast tab. So, Janet, welcome to the podcast, Facebook Live.
Thank you. So excited to try this out.
Yes, and I use the Be Live platform, which means that anyone watching can ask us questions or add comments, and we can see them live. I can actually push them live to the audience, which is a really fun part of doing a Facebook Live. Now, Janet, you and I have known each other for quite a while now, and I love your business, which is Family Chartmasters, which is all about plotting family history in a variety of charts. Now, I just want to say that I asked Janet for a list of her favorite charts, and she sent me a list. I haven't compiled the one for 2018 yet, but the one for 2017, she sent me 35 favorite charts.
Yep.
Yes. And I have to admit that even though I know a lot about your business and I've seen you operating at all these conferences, I was stunned by the wide variety of choices that people have. So
cool.
And of course, I'm involved in trying to make a descendancy chart for my husband's family, and I'll be in touch, Janet.
Yeah. I can't wait to do one for your family.
I know, well, my Dexter's family. But anyway, what's the top 3 questions that people have about making a chart? Like concerns?
Oh, good question. So just that's what we were doing this morning. Actually, was going through and choosing our 2018 favorites. And I'm just like you. Every time I bring up the stuff that our designers have done for the last year, I was so impressed. I was like, I knew, because sometimes I don't see them before they go out, you know, and I just was stunned. So just wait. You thought 2017 starts were good. We're going to be announcing 2018 shortly, and they're stunning and different too. Again, just new things, and I'm so excited. Anyway, those will be out on the blog and in our newsletter and everything in the next couple of weeks. But the 3 questions that people come to me with usually is, how do I compile the data? How do I send you the data? And then kind of what the process is usually, and then how big is it going to be? And that's why we do a free consultation, is because I probably told 4 people yesterday over the phone. If you say you're sending me 600 people, one family is going to plot out 8 inches tall and 15 feet wide, and one family is going to plot out 3 feet tall and 4 feet wide. You don't know, because you don't know those relationships, and it's hard to visualize. And that's honestly the reason I started this company, is because I inherited the genealogy my grandmother had done, and she had it all on the computer. It was on Path back in the day. And I would get in on that computer and I couldn't see the breadth and the width of it. And I couldn't figure it out. And my husband, who did plotting and mapping for the local city here, he said, let me help you plot it out. And I was surprised when I plotted out my grandmother's 7,000 person stuff. It was probably, I can't remember exactly, but I bet it was 80 feet by at least 60. It was kind of square. Yeah. And then we were like, well, what do we do with this? How do we deal with that? And that's a lot of the problems and issues that people bring to us. And then our solution is super easy. And that is, you send it in for a free consultation. and we take a look at it, and we'll give you sizes and prices and options and things. We have an easy solution to a complicated problem. And that's what we try to do. So you can send it to us in any format. We can take it off any of the online databases, Ancestry, Family Search, MyHeritage. There's instructions for all of that on our website. We can take it from any of the softwares, Family Tree Maker or Roots Magic or Legacy or any of those. But we can also do data entry if you've got boxes of stuff. In fact, we have one we were talking about this morning where a guy sent us about 70 pages of stuff to put into a file. And the beauty of that is then he has that file too. So we do a little bit of data entry as well.
Right.
With pictures, of course, we want the ones we've just been looking at this morning. Oh, some of these pictures are so gorgeous, Maureen. You're gonna love them. I mean, we go through and choose these people and then choose these charts and then contact customers that we've had over that last year and say we'd like to share your chart. And sometimes, once in a while, we get a no, but a lot of times they're really excited. And not only that, we show at conferences all over the country, and we put them up on our website, and we give them the option of whether or not they leave the deceased people. They can leave the deceased people real, and then we change the information on the living people on the samples, right? And so if they leave the deceased people real, a lot of times we'll run into cousins or, oh, I know that, I tie into that line, and then we'll take that person's email and send it to them. And so it's a little bit of a way to connect with cousins too. And usually people are excited to show off their beautiful pictures. And there's some doozies coming for 2018. I'm so excited. So,
I mean, I was just stunned by, obviously there's so many design choices that go into this. What kind of font do you want? What kind of background do you want? Do you want a border? Are you adding pictures? But I selected 3 of the 35 that you sent.
Oh, interesting. I want to see which ones you like.
To put up on Facebook as sort of, representative. And so I went first with and I don't know if you know this or not, Janet, but I wrote this whole article about old time family tree charts, like 19th-century family tree charts, right? A long time ago.
You've written about everything a long time ago.
I know my little keyboard has been humming over the years, that's for sure. And that was a really fun project to work on because I looked at all of these.
I want to see that.
I'll let you see it. I'll tell you where it is. It's in a publication by New England Historic.
Oh, cool.
The Art of Family was the book, and they asked me if I would write about family tree charts.
Cool.
Those 19th century things that you hung up on your wall to show off. Yeah. My favorite were all the dead stumps.
Yeah.
The lines that had sort of, gone away.
But
anyway, here's one of the charts that's more traditional from Janet's company, Family Chartmasters. And I'm going to push that, and I'm going to make it larger and us smaller. So this is a traditional one. This is someone who's descended from the Mayflower, and it's pretty typical, and it has a lot of design elements in common with the 19th century charts, with the tree in the background and the boat, all about my Mayflower ancestry. But you do other traditional style charts as well. Now, don't you have, am I like crazy, but don't you have a DNA chart?
Yes, we do. I can show you quick if you want to flip over to Family Chartmasters. Can you show your
website?
Yeah.
I can't share your screen, but I could share the Family Chartmasters website.
Yeah, just go to the website and I'll show you where it is.
All right, hold on. I got my little dashboard here gets a little busy.
You can see one right on the front.
All right, so here we are at Family Chartmasters. Testimonial gallery.
No, just scroll down right where you are.
Whoa.
Down to DNA charts, right there.
Personalized DNA charts. So can you see that on your screen, Janet?
Yep, I can see it.
It takes 5 minutes to create. It's really going crazy and be live. It takes 5 minutes to create your own beautiful, personalized 20 by 24 inch family history DNA chart. That's pretty cool.
And there's 3 styles. That's the more traditional looking style. There's one that's more modern, and then one that's just kind of classic as well. And that shows off that ethnicity estimate that you can get out of Ancestry or MyHeritage. So,
Yeah, 23andMe now has that.
Yeah.
But it's very different than the one I have on Ancestry, so I'm not really sure what to think.
Yeah, exactly. And in the future, we may do some more development where you can actually put Ancestries in and 23andMe's and show both on that chart. I can do that for you as a custom chart now, but the automated one, the one where you just go in and create it yourself quickly, right now doesn't have that capability. But
so do we have any questions for Janet at this point? I know I'm making a descendancy chart for my husband's family, mostly because the family reunion that we have every other year goes back to my husband's great grandparents.
Oh,
and so there are so many people that come now. There's like 60 people that come on a regular basis. And all the little kids, you know, we all look at each other and go, thank God we have Facebook.
Exactly.
So,
but we also just need a chart, because that's what we hear back all summer is, oh, we were able to figure out who was who. You know, the chart was the centerpiece because we all felt included, you know. And yeah, that's what we do all summer long. We love doing big family reunion charts. Right.
We all need one of those. So we are saying hello to Marie from North Carolina. Deb Jeter is with us again. Donna from Virginia. Deborah from Connecticut. Linda from the New Jersey Shore. And Deborah, who usually joins us from England, is actually here in the United States for a little while. She's in Seattle for this broadcast. Deborah, I can't tell you how much it means to me to have you tune in on your vacation.
She's smart. She knows where to find good information for
There we go. All right. Here's another one of my favorites of the 35 that you sent, Janet. I think this is just graphically gorgeous. Well, of course, I mean, why is this graphically gorgeous? Look at all those photographs.
Yeah. We open up the photographs that clients send us and fall in love with them just as much as you do, Maureen, because that's what you do too. You see these beautiful photographs. That is actually one that Carly did for her own grandfather. So Carly, the girl right there on the left side, there's her kids and her husband, and then there's Carly. That's our project manager, and she's incredibly talented, and we love Carly. She does great stuff. She has a great design eye.
Obviously, I mean, this is a really beautiful chart. I mean, I'd be very proud to put this on my wall.
Yeah.
And to send it to relatives and have them. And so we also have someone in Indiana and someone from Michigan. And we have a question.
Okay. What's that?
So Deborah Holman asks, my daughter is looking for something in a more modern style. Any plans for something like that?
Absolutely. We do a lot of really modern looking charts. Maureen's picked two that are pretty traditional because I think Maureen's a little traditional. But yeah, we do lots and lots of modern charts. In fact, the one behind me, I don't know if you can see it. This is the one that sits in my dining room. Those are my three kids. Can you see that? And then we put some good modern fonts on it. I've got Horvoka on the top, and then Carpenter is my maiden name. Can you see that? Let's see. Yeah, maybe you can't. The chair's in the way. I've got Carpenter down on the bottom, but then it's actually a 36 by 48. I can't really even show you the whole thing. And it's got icons on it. It's very clean and more modern looking. A lot of times we do canvas.
She says nice.
Stretched canvases are clean and beautiful. You don't frame them. You just stretch them on it like a piece of art. In fact, some of the ones that we're just looking at for the booth for Roots Tech, these 2018 charts we've been going through, we're actually going to do a couple that are like 3 feet tall, 3 feet wide and about 80 inches tall. One's, I think, 50 inches tall. And we're just going to frame those and put them on the floor not framed, just gallery wrapped canvases. And they're going to be these gorgeous, you know how you'd see kind of in a modern design situation, you'd see maybe a big mirror on the floor. That's just going to be a more modern display of those larger charts that we're going to show off at Roots Tech.
I can't wait to see
we do a lot of really clean, beautiful stuff too. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, pretty much anything
exactly
that you want as a chart, Family Chartmasters can do it.
Right.
You want traditional, they've got it covered. You want modern, they've got it covered. You want new wave kinds of things like DNA, they can do it.
Yeah.
You want mostly pictures and a little information, they've got you covered. And so the third chart that I chose.
Is it less traditional? Did you
well, I thought it was very curious. Oh, Deborah says she's going to see you at Ruth's Tech.
Oh, awesome. Great.
So here's the other one. Yeah, they're all, I mean, you had some colorful ones.
Yeah.
So this one I thought was really interesting because it's a relationship chart.
Right.
Showing how two people are actually related. Can you explain this chart to me, Janet?
Well, I think you're missing the bottom part of it, right? You've got it kind of on a wide orientation. Can you show the bottom part?
No, I cannot.
Okay.
Let's see if I can go to...
kind of explain it. So the person on the left, the top left, is an ancestor. And then it comes down through all of their descendants, just the one line. And then we actually wrapped it back up to the top. And then there's the second one coming down.
Hold on one second. I'm going to try to share this one larger, Janet.
All right.
You can see my Facebook page, maybe. Oh, sometimes it doesn't want to work.
We have a big...
Can you see this on your screen, Janet? The relationship chart?
I'm looking at the chart, the chopped off chart.
Oh, here we go. That was supposed to be.
We actually had a couple that we were choosing to go through for the 2018 charts that that were royalty, like a direct line back to royalty. We did several of those this year, and some of them were gorgeous. And there were pictures and all sorts of things.
Well,
and things are similar.
23andMe told me today that my maternal haplogroup brings me right back to Marie Antoinette.
Oh, awesome. We need to do a Marie Antoinette chart for you.
Oh, my goodness.
That's awesome. Marie Antoinette. That's awesome.
I guess that's where I get my love of cake from.
Yeah, there you go.
But this is a very curious chart. That's what I mean. Anything that you can think up, family, as long as it's information that you can chart, Family Chartmasters can do it. I've always been just stunned by what you're able to create.
Well, and that's what we do. We say, anything you can dream up, we can do. And with these decorative charts that you're showing, we do two different kinds of charts. Maybe I can explain that while you're...
Let me show you. I have a comment from Deborah Stock. Oh. The linking line does follow from the bottom up to the top.
Yeah. So we do two different kinds of charts. One's working charts, and that's just a draft copy. It's inexpensive. There's no online preview for that. So that's just a quick copy like you take to a family reunion to let everybody write on, or for research or whatever. And those are less expensive because we don't do the online previews. And that's the point, is to keep them inexpensive. They're draft copies. The stuff you've been showing and the one behind me and stuff, those are what we call decorative charts. And with those, you're assigned a designer who takes your original ideas and puts together a mock-up for you and sends you that mock-up. And then they work back and forth with you with more mock-ups or whatever it takes to make sure it's exactly what you're envisioning. And you don't pay anything until we go to print. And so that you can work back and forth with them. It doesn't change the pricing at all. All of that is included in the original price. Mm-hmm. And they'll let you know what that is up front, so you know what you're getting into. And then the designer will work back and forth with you, make sure everything's perfect before we print. And that's why we can say, anything you can dream up, we can do. Because if that first mock-up isn't quite what you thought, or if you hadn't explained this other part that you didn't realize you wanted, or whatever, or if dad's birthday's wrong on it, or whatever, then the designer will make those changes, and she'll just keep working with you until it's exactly what you love. And so, yes, literally anything you can dream up, we can do for you. Yeah.
Right. So in my case, I have a notebook that I bought while I was at the family reunion to write down all the information. Right. And I think we have 2 whole years to go, but I think a working chart is a good thing, because then people can add people in or take people out, because the family changes, and put more information or less information. They can double check my spelling of everyone's name, that kind of thing, and then go to the design.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what we do. A lot of the family reunion type charts are working charts because there's no better way to collect that information. You know, they will never send you an email back and tell you what they know.
Never.
Right?
Never.
But if you take, I can guarantee you, if you take a piece of paper in, there's something about having it on paper. Even my aunt, who didn't want anybody to know how old she was and when her real birthday was, she had to go get a pencil and make sure it was right on the chart, because there's something about having it on paper, and especially with pencils around or Post-it notes or whatever, you will collect the information that everybody there knows, because they're anxious to have it right and to feel included. There's kind of a team mentality that comes from it too, that you really are part of this family. You're on the chart, you know, and they want to have it right in print. And so yeah, we get letters back all summer long that, oh, this was the best way to collect the information that I needed. Everybody gathered around the chart and made sure everything was right. So yeah,
I can't wait. I mean, we just had the reunion last summer, so
we'll do it. Cool.
We'll do it.
If you want to type all that in, send us the notebook. I mean, or copies. You know, it makes me nervous to send things through the mail, but send us the copies, or even digital copies. Even just email me a photo of each page, and you know, we can do the data entry too if you don't want to do it. But I'm sure you could if you wanted to. It depends on what you want to do.
Right, and then I have to get the pictures from everyone, because I would like this to be a picture.
Yeah.
And that will be the hard thing. I think what'll happen at the next reunion is, I mean, this is a long-term project, I'm feeling like, where I collect the information, then share the working chart, then bring my camera or use my phone and take a picture of everyone at the reunion.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Because I think you're right. I mean, how many of us have sent out an email to a relative and then you never get a response?
Yeah.
Ever.
We had one lady years ago that went through, there was a family back in the 1920s that had 7 daughters and 1 son. And the dad was a photographer. So they had these gorgeous photos. Oh, you would love this one, Maureen. She had all these 1920s photos of these girls, and they were beautiful, beautiful pictures. And she decided she was going to do one chart for each of those children and then show their descendants, right?
Ooh.
And she went through and got pictures from all of those people. It was the 7 or 8 charts. There was a brother too. The 8 charts were probably, I want to say, 4 or 5 feet tall, kind of like the one behind me, 4 or 5 feet tall and about 3 feet wide. And she went through and got hundreds of pictures from all of these people. And she bugged them and she got all the emails. But back and she sent us all these pictures, and we did this set of charts that were gorgeous. And she wrote back after the reunion, and she said everybody had to come see the charts because we talked about them so much, and they all wanted to see what they had contributed to. She said they had 3 times as many people at that reunion than they'd ever had before, because they all had participated in putting this together. And she said she had several people come up and say, I want to learn more about our family history. Can you tell me more about this? Can you load some software on my machine, or can you show me how to use Ancestry? She grew up a couple of genealogists in the family, right, that she could work with. So she was excited about that. And she said they ended up giving her a standing ovation. And the funny thing about that was years later, I was in a house in Salt Lake, and somebody I didn't even hardly know, it was a friend of a friend that I went to visit in Salt Lake. I walked into this house and there was one of those charts, one of those 8 charts. And I went, where did you get this? And she said, oh, well, I'm right there on the chart. This was, so they did some kind of contest, or I don't know if they donated money at the reunion or something for the family pot or whatever. But they gave those 8 charts to a member of each of those families. And so I walked into this stranger's house in Salt Lake, and there was this chart.
There was your work.
I loved it. It was hanging in this place of honor in their house. And so these charts were well loved and well used because everybody had participated, right? So that's part of the beauty of it too. Everybody just feels included.
And I guess what we're talking about here, where I'm talking about the process and you're talking about working charts and all of that, is it does take time to put these charts together. Yeah. So on November 1st, it's kind of a short turnaround to have something like this for next holiday. But here it is, January, never too early to start.
That's true. That's true. That's true. Generally, it takes 2 to 3 weeks to get one of these charts done. So our deadlines for Christmas were actually like mid-second week of December. And this year and last year both, sometimes we can take rush orders if we're not too busy, if we're caught up enough for Christmas. This year we were only able to take 2 rush orders because we were just slammed all the way down to Christmas Eve. So yeah, those deadlines for holidays come up quick, but we can always do rush orders too. If your reunion is in 2 weeks, call us anyway. We can probably figure something out. A week, you're getting tight, but maybe we can even figure something out then. We'll see.
So I'm going to ask everyone a question. How many of you have ever heard of Family Chartmasters or have used them to create a chart?
Good question.
We even have Pat Rich.
I'm going to move over so I can see.
Erickson watching. We have Dear Mert watching.
Oh,
nobody's answering.
Wow. Come on, guys.
Come on. Janet does an awesome job of getting the word out at all the conferences.
Okay.
And Roots Tech is the biggest display. But I mean, I met you at Jamboree.
Yeah.
That was the first time.
That's where we really sat down and talked. Yeah.
Oh, Deborah Holman says, yep, met Janet and another Deborah, because they're actually talking amongst each other, talking about what a Debbie day this is on the Facebook Live. Photo Detective said that she met you at
IAGGS.
Jewish, IAGGS.
Yeah.
Some people have heard of you, but they haven't used your services yet. They're not ready. And I think that's another question is it's when you meet people that are writing a family history book and they've been working on it forever, at some point you have to just go with what you've got.
Yeah.
You can always revise.
Yeah.
But it's very sad for me to have individuals not write down what they've already found out. You can always add to it. It's like a chart. So you can make the chart on all the information that you have so far, but you can also edit.
Yeah, absolutely. We can archive your chart, and when you come back, the charges are minor depending on what changes you need. And I have a really good friend who's a fantastic genealogist. She worked at the family history for a long time, and she's done a ton of research on her family, and nobody will ever know that family as well as she does. She even has had brick walls where she's researched out the other people around where nobody will ever figure out that problem as well as she has. Right. I finally got her blogging a couple of years ago because she has to get some of this into print. And I worry every day that she's gonna be killed in a car accident or something, and we're gonna lose all that knowledge. Yeah. And I've really pushed her hard to try to get some things out. And a chart's kind of easier in some ways than a book because it's simple and it's understandable by non-genealogists.
Well, I think of it in terms of it's almost like a graphic organizer for writing your family history.
It really is. Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
So Amy Johnson Crow, who I do Heritage and History with at the beginning of every month, she has that wonderful 52 Ancestors program where you write about a different ancestor every week according to the prompts. And that's really valuable. But it's also valuable to make sure you get all the information transferred into something that other people can see and use. Yeah. And maybe I should do one for my own family.
Okay, now you're going to start having to
outside of Ancestry.com. Yeah. I should probably do one.
Easy. We can take it right out and get going. And you don't even have to figure it out. You just have to look at your email and say, yeah, I like this. Please change that and send us back an email. And then, so super easy.
I remember we had a senior family. My mother's side of the family is enormous.
Really?
Those French Canadian families really get kind of large. And we were at a funeral. It was very serious. And there were all of these people there. And my first cousin turned to me and she said, who are all these people? And I said, I was going to ask you who all these people are. She goes, you're the genealogist. was like, I don't know. The generations have grown at such a rate I can't keep up.
Yeah, yeah.
So we have.
You know what? We do charts for family, or we've done a lot of charts for funerals too. If you come up with another funeral and you have a couple of days, rush a chart to you.
Not right away. Thank you very much. But we have. Here we go. We have another question, which is: are there charts that you can make that include a step family line?
Absolutely. Yeah. So we do step family charts. We do like genetic, what's the word I want? Like adoptive versus genetic family lines sometimes. One of the things we do a lot of, actually, Carly does a lot of, is what we call an all-in-one chart, where we take your file and no matter how big it is, we have some options. We have a couple options. We have an automated option. If you've ever looked at Family Tree Maker, they have an extended family chart where it starts with a person comes down, and then whoever doesn't fit in that chart, they'll make a dotted line around the square, and then they'll send it out to the right. Mm-hmm. And it creates this big, long chart. But it puts everybody in the file in there. We have a custom chart where we take that type of thing, but then we fit those people back in so that it actually makes a little more sense. We maybe go a little higher, or a little wider. And we call those all-in-one charts. And literally we can fit every single person in your file. You know, if somebody married a family or married into another family, and then you've got a bunch of information on those in-laws, we can fit it in. If you've got step families, if you've got whatever.
We have a whole lot of questions. Are you ready?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
I'll do my best.
Deborah Holman, how about a dad who married 4 times and had kids with 3 out of 4 spouses?
That happens. Every family has things like that. Like no family is just mom and dad and kids, mom and dad and kids, mom and dad and kids. I mean, every family has stuff going on like that. With the dad with 4 wives and 3 kids, that comes out pretty easily. You've just got the dad and then each of the wives and the kids coming down from that. Not hard at all.
Nothing really surprising for genealogists in that.
No, exactly.
That's information.
Nor for Family Chartmasters.
Right, exactly. Right, there's nothing new. Deborah Hartstock asked, what's the biggest chart, dimensions and numbers or people that you have ever produced?
We had one this last summer that almost kicked us, but we did end up coming up with a solution for him. The biggest one up until then was 30,000 people, and it was 600 feet of charts. Yeah.
Jan, I'm sorry if I can't really breathe at thinking about a 30,000 member tree.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's clean. The one that we did this summer wasn't terribly clean. He'd merged a bunch of stuff into it. It was a little different. We ended up doing, I think, about 630 feet for him. We ended up not printing the whole entire thing because it was really messy. Like he had 7 copies of the same person in that file, and some of them went different ways. And so that one was a real challenge for us. We did end up printing about 600 feet of it for him though. So yeah, right now we're about 600 feet, about 30,000 people. But if you have more than that, we'd love to give it a try.
I know, here's Deborah's reaction.
What?
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. We have some more questions. This is great. Oh, Deborah Holman.
We pictures of the set of charts that was 600 feet. We have pictures of that in our gallery and on our website.
Oh my goodness.
It was spectacular.
So Deborah Holman says that she was the one with the multiple marriages and kids. She says she calls her family a bramble bush, not a tree.
Yeah. We do a lot of, in fact, you can see all-in-one charts on our gallery, and then we just chose 4 of them for 2018 that we're going to display and be putting out, like I said, on our blog and our newsletter and stuff if you watch. In fact, on my blog, there is an article on my blog just about all-in-one charts that has a whole bunch of different samples of just how to fit in step families. Yeah, a bramble bush, exactly.
So your blog is the Chart Chick.
Thechartchick.com. Mm-hmm. Or you can get there from the website, familychartmasters.com.
Chartchick.com for Janet's blog.
If you search all-in-one charts on that, I should put it as one of the popular posts. Because
here's another question, which is, I think, another really important one from Deb Jeter Andrew. Do you print a date of production on the chart anywhere?
We do. Certainly, if you ask us, we can. We usually sign them at the bottom, like an artist, down in the bottom right. And often we'll put a date down there. We don't automatically unless you ask us to, but we certainly can. A lot of times we'll put researched by Deb or whatever, and then designed and printed by Family Chartmasters, or we could do whatever you want on the bottom.
So Kevin asked the question. I'm not sure the answer to this, Janet, so I hope it's not embarrassing. Kevin wants to know, do you do the charts for finding your roots? They are impressive looking.
You know, we haven't done them for finding our roots. We have done them for relative race. We've done them for the roadshow, the genealogy roadshow. We've done them for what's the other show? Oh, we just did some for the Today Show, actually. That
you did.
Yeah, ProGen on Ancestry has a segment coming up on the Today Show. So we're official chart printers for ProGen. We're official chart printers for all of the major softwares, for legacy tree genealogists, all of them. You know, it took a long time before Ancestry was willing to trust us with their high-end clients, but we signed contracts with ProGen last year, and they know where to come for good charts. And yeah, so we've done charts for a lot of the TV shows, but we haven't done them for that one. They need to come to us. We could probably save them time and money.
Exactly.
I don't know how they're printing their charts, but I'm sure we can save them time and money. So
right. So I'm just going to repeat myself right here and say that it's been wonderful to have Janet Horvoka of FamilyChartmasters.com as a guest, and we all need to get our charts finished so we can put them up on
We're not
the wall.
finished, like you said. We need to get them printed.
Done. We need to get them printed. We'll never be done. That's the thing. There's always another twig on the tree, right? Yeah. And the DNA reveals stuff that we didn't know. And I mean, you just never know. So this is your chance. What is the website? I will give that to you just in a second. It's FamilyChartmasters.com.
Yep.
Typing as fast as I can. FamilyChartmasters.com.
Yep.
And Kevin said he
liked the black background.
He likes the black background in the Finding Your Roots. No, that's fine.
Oh, on one of the charts on TV. Yeah, no, of course not. No. They'll figure out where to come for good charts. I'm sure they'll figure it out.
Exactly.
No offense taken.
Right, exactly. I thought Janet would say no, but they could contact us.
They could. Yeah, they definitely could.
And you'd love to do it. So
awesome.
Anyway, Janet, I won't see you until Roots Tech, but that's right around the corner. And as usual, I look forward to catching up in person. Thank you all for joining me for this installment of The Photo Detective, and go home and start working on those charts.
Or let us know when you're ready. There's a free consultation on the front of the website. Just send it in and we'll take care of you.
That's right. Great. Thank you all very much.
Thanks. See ya.
Thank you for watching and listening. You can submit your questions for future episodes using the Ask Maureen button on MaureenTaylor.com or through any of my social media contacts. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram as The Photo Detective and on Facebook at Maureen Photo Detective. I hope you'll come back for the next show. Don't forget to send me your questions.